guys, my name is Trinh and today I'm here to do a book review and discussion for City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I apologize for the lighting, like sometimes it will be like really bright and nice, but then sometimes it will get dark. Like I don't know what's going on with the sun today, Mother Nature, WTF. So today we're talking about City of Lost Souls. So this is the 5th book of the More Instruments and this is actually my 2nd time reading this book. First time I read this book was like back in 2013, so it's been a really long time. If you don't know, I'm rereading the books from the Shadowhunter Chronicles with Emma Books. She is hosting this year-long readathon thing and I'm joining because it's been a long time since I've read these books. This book takes place right after City of Fallen Angels, and for the synopsis I'm not gonna say much just because it is the 5th book. So if I tell you the synopsis, spoilers, you know, I feel like it's just best to read this book right after the 4th book of TMI or Clockwork Prince of the Infernal Devices, because publication order is the best way to read these books. Now for my review, I don't really like this book. When I finished it, I was just like, okay, thank God I'm done with this book so I can like move on from it, because my God, it was like a lot. It took a lot of energy for me to read this book, believe it or not. So in this book there are so many storylines. Like we follow a lot of characters and or group, but like there's only one storyline that I truly care about, but it's not the main one in this book, so we rarely see it. But the main storyline in this book frustrated me. Like almost all of like the storylines except for like the one that I really like, they all frustrated me, and it's just so disappointing because it's the 5th book. I love City of Fallen Angels so much and I love Clockwork Prince. So when I read this book I was like, oh my God, it's the 5th book, let me read it to see if I like it or not. Yeah, I don't really like it, honestly. There were a few scenes that are really good. Like this book is actually funny, that's the thing. All of Cassandra Clare's books are actually funny, but overall the characters are like so important to me when it comes to these books. So there are only 2 that I genuinely love, and that is Simon and Isabel. For the other characters, like I like them, I still like them, that's the thing, but I'm indifferent most of the time, and a lot of the times they just frustrated me. So I really struggled with finishing this book. So when I was done I was like, oh thank God, I can finally read Clockwork Princess. Now I just want to say that there is an attempted rape scene, so be very cautious when you read this book. It's like 2 or 3 pages, I don't remember, but it's at the end of a certain chapter, so you know, be very careful because I'm sure it can be triggering for some people. So overall I give this book 3 out of 5 stars. That was me being lenient because I was about to give it a 2 out of 5 stars. So I give it a 3 out of 5. You know, like I said, it's funny, it's enjoyable in a way, but like, oh my God, it was a freaking struggle to finish this book. So now I am about to jump into the discussion section. So if you have read that book, stay. If you have not read this book, leave now, because I am about to go in depth with every single storyline, believe it or not. So let's quickly talk about Jay, Sebastian, and Clary. So this is the main storyline in City of Lost. So like we see those 3 people multiple times in this book. So Clary decides to go with Sebastian and Jace because Jace is like bound to Sebastian and they're like together all the damn time, and Jace is possessed the entire time, and of course like I said, he's bound to Sebastian. So if you hurt Sebastian, Jace will get hurt, vice versa. So it's very complicated. The scene where Jace and Sebastian go to Luke's house because Jace like cannot stay away from Clary, and like at the end of that chapter Luke was about to fucking die. I was about to have a panic attack right there because I love Luke. He is like one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character in TMI, because no one gives a shit about him, but I love Luke so much, and the lighting is fluctuating. The moment where Sebastian was like about to kill him, like the thing is Luke was about to die. I was like, oh my God, no, but I knew that he was not gonna die because I've read these books before, so I kind of remember. And in this book it's really weird to see how human Sebastian is because he's a fucking psychopath. So seeing him being like human and talking to Clary and Jace and being just friendly and stuff, I was like, something is up. Like we have known this bastard since book 3 and it's only the 5th book, but still it's not that much, but I know that he's crazy. So Jay, Sebastian, and Clary stay in this dimensional apartment thing, and it's so like weird. Like I've never heard of this before, so rereading this I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this whole thing. So like it's an apartment but no one can really track it, and in that apartment it used to be Valentine, and then the clothes was like Jocelyn and all these things. And then we also learned that the Sealy Queen has sided with Sebastian, so we have that conversation between Sebastian and Meliorn, I believe. So Clary Clary and Simon are communicating with these fairy rings. And I knew for a fact something is up because Clary was supposed to get the ring, give it to the queen, and then she just never gave it. She's like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this, we're just gonna use it to communicate. And lo and behold, she lost the ring. I was like, oh my god, look at that. And instead of like, you know, going to Sebastian's room, because she was about to go to his room, but then she's like, nah, why would a ring be in his room? That's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna search elsewhere. I'm like, girl, your reasoning sucks ass. So she follows Sebastian, and that's when they have that very human-like conversation. So yeah, she loses the ring. She is literally the worst spy ever because she barely tries to find a ring. Like seriously, like we have like literally like 2 pages of her being like, I must find a ring, and then she just abandons the task. I'm like, dude, that ring is so important. In a way, it's tricky because it's a ring where the queen literally heard all of the conversation between Simon and Clary, and then of course Sebastian uses that ring to communicate with Silly Queen, and it's just like a big chaos. And I was like, of course, you know, because like the Silly Queen is actually evil. And I'm so glad that Clary destroys the ring. When she did that, I was like, oh my god, look at that girl, like you finally did something right, like the whole time, because like she just annoyed me in this entire book. So when she destroys the ring, I was just like, yes girl, like you finally did something right. So let's quickly talk about this scene because this is very important in the book, and it's the one that triggers my freaking emotion. There's an Iron sister named Magdalena, whatever. She's in like Paris. So she used to work for Valentine, but then of course when like the uprising happened and then the clave was like, bitch, she escaped. So it turns out she's supposed to make this infernal cup, and she did, but then Jace was about to kill her. Long story short, she stabs him with this like knife thing, and then he's back to his old self. So Jace is back to his old self for like 2 chapters. And this is where the part where I have a huge issue with Clary. You should have seen my notes. I was cussing Clary out so much. I could not read this book. I had to take a break because basically Jace is like, I have to do the right thing. I have to turn to the clave. I have to like give myself up and give up this covenant and stuff. And Clary, out of all of the options, she literally calls on Sebastian. She calls on Sebastian, and then Sebastian does his thing, and then Jace is back. Jace is possessed, and like before he's possessed, he looks so betrayed. That was literally me. I was like, you have the nerve to do shit like that? Jace even says that he would be dead than be the possessed Jace. My biggest issue with that is that she makes his decision for him. Even though he might die, even though he might lose the people in his life, his family and Claire and that stuff, I wholeheartedly believe that he's doing the right thing because he is. It's his choice. Yes, he's a shadow hunter. Yes, a lot of the times they die really young, and if he wants to die with honor, I hate to say it, but you can't not stop him from making that decision. But of course she's like, no, I don't want you to die. And then out of all the options, like I said, she fucking calls on the enemy to make him possess again. See, the thing is, for me, there are 2 options when it comes to this situation. The first one is that she could be like, oh my god, Jace, let's go see the gang, let's go see Simon and Isabel and Alec and Magnus, because this is around a time where they're going to like the farmhouse to raise like the angel Razio to get the sword. Literally, if they can just, you know, go to the group, they have the sword, boom boom pow, we good. Or she could let him do what he must do, because she cannot say that's a horrible decision. I mean, yeah, he might die like I said, but it's for the greater good or whatever. I don't know. It's just like I was so frustrated. I was so pissed at Clary for doing shit like that, like calling on Sebastian to make him possess again. What the hell? So after this, she's like, oh my god, I fucked up. I'm like, yeah, you did. And then she finds the ring in Sebastian's room, and that whole chaos happened. And then the scene where Sebastian is trying to kiss her and trying to make her his and shit like that, it was disgusting. I was like, yeah, now this is incest. Now this is really fucked up. Because the first 3 books, we really thought that Jace was Clary's like brother, but I knew for a fact that they were not fucking related. But in this is disgusting. This is really horrible because Sebastian is trying to fucking mate with Clary and shit. And that attempted rape scene, I was like, oh my god, this is really gross. Oh my god, because like this is really fucked up, man. Rape is wrong, but incest is also fucking wrong. At the end of the day, Clary, she's like a pretty decent shadow hunter now because she's getting her groove on, like she knows how to find stuff. So I was like, yes girl. But then also she destroys the apartment, which is like a huge like, yes, Clara, you finally do something right. So Simon and Isabel, SIZZY, and this is literally the only storyline that I give a shit about. Every time I read a passage with Simon and Isabel, I was like, oh my god, finally something good happening in this book. So Isabel has feelings for Simon. That's very obvious. I love them two together. I love how Simon tells like the story of Star Wars to her. I think that was just really cute. Isabel lets Simon drink her blood. That to me is very intimate. So let's separate these two people together. So Simon has his own problem with his sister, of course, but then at the end I'm so glad his sister is totally fine with him being a vampire, but also the fact that he sacrifices himself to summon the angel Razio. So this angel is a big deal, of course. But then of course, you know, Simon has the mark of Cain. So of course we're like, okay, let's give this a try, even though there's a good chance everyone will die. So luckily Simon gets the sword Glorious, but then of course the angel takes the mark of Cain away from Simon. So now I'm like really worried because Simon is like pretty vulnerable without the mark of Cain. Even though I know it's like a curse, it did protect him in the 4th book and the 3rd book and the 5th book. Oh my god, it protected him for like quite a while. And Isabel, so she has her own problem, and that is about her parents. So she has known about this affair thing that her dad had with this other woman, and Jocelyn knows about this, and that surprises me because like Jocelyn is like not really a shadow hunter, because this is around the time Max was conceived. So Robert Lightwood had an affair with another woman after Alec and Isabel was out in the world. So part of me is like, how does Jocelyn know about this? Because like they're not communicating at all. I mean, I'm sure they were both in New York because they run the institute. Meanwhile, Jocelyn was in like New York. But how does Jocelyn know about this affair with this other woman? She even knows the woman's name and everything. She even knows that like the woman died in City of Glass and stuff. So a part of me is like, how does Jocelyn know about this affair that Robert has with like, you know, this woman? I want to know because I'm kind of confused. But then also we learn from Isabel that her parents are getting a divorce. So I definitely want more details because like I'm sure it's because their marriage is falling apart, you know, because like of the affair. But then of course Max dies and it's just really complicated because Robert wants to be an inquisitor, so of course it's gonna cause some problems in the family. So I want more details, and I'm sure we're gonna get that in the final book. So Malik, Magnus, and Alec, this is another storyline that I was just so frustrated with because I could tell that Magnus is genuinely upset that Alec is not really happy. Alec had the damn nerve to go meet with Camille to even consider shortening Magnus' lifespan, and I was like, why would you do that? Honestly, I mean, I know why, because he wants to be with Magnus, but then like that's really fucked up, man. That's just really horrible. And like I cried when they broke up at the end. I was genuinely so upset because I knew it was coming, but I was not prepared to read that scene. And now Maya and Jordan, so of course we get back together, but at the same time I don't feel anything when it comes to this relationship. Like I generally don't care, and I'm not even like a fan of the relationship because Jordan just out of nowhere to be like, I love you, you can have my money, you can go to college, and I could move with you wherever. I was like, calm down. Like all y'all did was kiss in City of Fallen Angels. That was it. Like you guys just kissed and that was it. So I guess they got back together in this book, so I was like, I'm not fucking surprised. But the whole time, even Maya kind of hints this in the book, is that they always have sex. Like they never really talk, like after they became a couple, and then they just freaking like have sex almost every time they see them. And I'm like, I never get a real conversation between these two, okay? Never. I'm just not a fan of Maya and Jordan, honestly. Also, I'm just indifferent. And then we have Maureen, who is this rogue vampire. So she's like the girl that, you know, Simon bit, and then she turns into a vampire because of Camille. She has killed many people, and then at the end, Maureen killed Camille. I was like, okay, so I guess that happened because it's so weird that we've known Camille for quite a while. Like we've seen her in the Infernal Devices, we see her in like City of Fallen Angels, and then in City of Lost Souls, and then we just don't see her now anymore. Like she just died. Like I was like, okay, that sucks, man. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to read a scene where Maureen finds Camille and then kills her and stuff, because Camille is like really old vampire, and for a new vampire to kill her so easily, like I want to read that scene, you know. I want to read that battle scene if there's like a real battle. So let's talk about the ending because we're coming to an end anyway. So I feel so bad that Luke's sister Amethyst has turned into like the dark shadow hunter. Like I felt so bad for for him. I feel so bad for her because like she's evil now. The fight at the end is very intense, and seeing Alec, you know, shooting arrows, that was amazing. I was like, yes, Alec, even though you fucked up really badly with Magnus, you can still fight. I'm so proud. And then of course Clary stabs Jace with the sword Glorious, and I was like, oh shit, like is this real? I mean, like I knew she was gonna stab him, but like she just like put the sword in his chest and was like, I'm doing you a favor, Jace, after I fucked up with you so badly with the whole possession thing. And then of course everything is fine. Even though there's heavenly fire in Jace, like it's in his vein, it's complicated at a point. Like yeah, like Clary and Jace, their relationship is just so complicated. They even talk about it in the book. And I'm so glad that Clary realizes that she has made the wrong decision, you know, with the whole Jace and the whole possession thing. I'm so glad that she has come to that realization, and I'm pretty sure that she apologizes to Jace for that fucking decision. I'm still kind of, you know, salty about it, but you know, it's been like almost a week since I've finished the book, so you know, it's whatever. But at the end, I'm just glad that they're back together, they're like good and shit. And then at the very end, Sebastian cuts the wings from an angel and leave it on the Institute's floor. So that was horrifying. And can I just say how amazing it is to see Brother Enoch again from like the Infernal Devices, and then Brother Zachariah. Brother Zachariah was in this book so much. Like whenever I see him, I'm like, oh my god, is it Brother Zachariah? Brother Zachariah. So that is it for City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have one more book left. I'm gonna reread City of Heavenly Fire, hopefully in like July, June or July, I don't even know, but it's been so much fun reading these books, believe it or not. So that is it for my book review and discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye!